In 1990, Atlanta no longer was a place where visitors could expect an easy win, as the Falcons went 5-3 at home, their best mark since 1980. Following the win over the Bengals, the Falcons spent 5 of the next 7 weeks on the road. And despite being in every game until the end, they couldn't seem to come up with a victory. A 6-point loss to the Bears dropped them to 3-6. And against Philadelphia, they held the Eagles' explosive offense in check. The Falcons outgained Philly and carried a 2-point lead into the final minutes, only to see a field goal deal them a third straight loss. In New Orleans, a visit from Atlanta native and newly crowned world champion Evander Holyfield provided inspiration. Yards were hard to come by for both teams in this battle of defensive heavyweights. Yet once again, the Falcons failed to deliver a knockout punch. Three straight defeats by a total of 10 points to 3 playoff-bound teams was frustrating. But the loss of Chris Miller for the year in Week 13 was the toughest loss of all. By this point in the season, Atlanta was a young team with some old problems, inexperience and injuries. But the Falcons didn't look for excuses. Rather, they searched for a way to end a 7-game losing streak. Their answer came in the play of their defense. Scott Case's first career touchdown gave Atlanta an early lead and began an afternoon-long attack on Jim Everett. The Falcons' black wave defense was returning to its gang-tackling form, and even without Miller, red gun receivers like George Thomas were finding holes in the Rams' secondary. A huge hole opened by 5 perfect blocks on the offensive line allowed Mike Rozier to score the game-winning touchdown, and the losing streak was over. Rozier would be a key player in extending Atlanta's winning streak in its last game. The former Oiler rushed for a career-high 155 yards, and when number 71 Chris Hinton sprung him for 67 yards, he had the longest run in team history. It was an afternoon for offensive records to fall as Andre Rison caught his 82nd pass, a Falcons single-season mark. And on a day when Dallas was hoping to secure a postseason berth, Atlanta came up with a playoff-caliber effort on both sides of the ball. All the little things the Falcons improved during the year, like gang tackling and swarming to the football, came together on this final Sunday in an effort which typified Atlanta's progress and desire in 1990.
I don't think a team I've ever been with wants to win as bad as this team does. This team wants to win more than any team I've ever been with. And as long as that's inside of them, we're going to give a lot of people some headaches.
Falcons are in the 6. They give it to the I-back, and they hit him behind the goal line for a safety. Jim Green got Emmett Smith behind the goal line for a safety, about 1.5 yards behind the goal line.
When the second half began, the special teams showed they too were ready for 1991.
Wallace kicks off very high, very short, angling to his left. Jones up to take it for Atlanta on the 24, dodge a man to the 35, to the 40, the 45 to the 50, to the 45 to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, down to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, touchdown!
With a a second straight win sealed, it seemed only fitting the Falcons end their season the way they began it, in prime time style.
Everybody coming after him. And Deion Sanders leaped and intercepted on the 39-yard line to the 40, to the 45, to the 50. The 45 to 40. He got a block to the 30, the 25 to 20. Deion Sanders, touchdown!
5 wins does not a champion make, but the groundwork for success unquestionably has been established. The 1991 season can't come soon enough for the resurgent Falcons, a team that in 1990 looked to the future by going back in black. This film was brought to you by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of the NFL's team highlight films. New York Life, the company you keep.